Um, Decentralized command.
Decentralized command, simply put, everybody leads. Everybody leads, and that's what we want as a leader. We want everybody on the team to be able to lead, and we actually want them to lead. Now, that might sound crazy, because you might think to yourself, well, if you've got a team of 10 people and they're all leading, can't you end up with 10 people leading in different directions? And the answer is yes, you can. Yes, you absolutely can. That's why decentralized command, you still have to lead as a leader with decentralized command. And the way you do that is by making sure that everybody on the team understands what the mission is, understands what the goal is, understands what the end state is, understands what the priorities are, understands the limitations that we have. You know, how far I can go to the left, how far I can go to the right, what my timeline is. And the most important thing they need to understand is why they're doing what they're doing. That's the most important thing that they need to understand, everybody on the team, because then they can make decisions. Then they can make adjustments. So if you know that there's another project that is going to need the crane by next week, and you know why that is important for you to get that your utilization of the crane done this week, well, if you understand why, then you say, hey, you know what? Normally I wouldn't do overtime on Friday and Saturday, but I know that there's a reason. I know why this is happening, so we're going to expend a little bit of extra money here to get the job done so we can get the crane moved over here. If you didn't know the why, you might say, well, we're not going to spend more money on overtime. Not worth it. As soon as you understand the why, you can make the right decisions. So that's what decentralized command is. It's such a powerful tool. It's such a powerful tool. And to your point earlier about things being counterintuitive, decentralized command sometimes feels very counterintuitive, because I think if I'm the boss, I should be telling everyone what to do. I should be giving the orders, barking the orders, coming up with a plan. I feel like I should be doing all that because I'm the quote boss. The reality is the most efficient way to run an organization is if my subordinates are able to come up with a plan. If my subordinates understand the mission well enough that they can come up with a plan, they can put together that plan, they can execute that plan, they can make decisions, and they can do that all at their level with just a couple check-ins with me to make sure that the plan makes sense and that it doesn't interfere with any other projects that I've got going on. So that's counterintuitive. But the advantage that you get with decentralized command, I mean, this is, from a military perspective, this is how we win wars. If you look at Saddam Hussein was a complete micromanager. And when one of his elements was getting flanked by coalition forces, those elements would sit there and call back and say, hey, we're getting flanked. What do you think we should do? Well, he doesn't have time to answer every single call. And so they're waiting for an answer. And guess what happens? They get flanked. That's centralized command. It doesn't work. What happens is you need to be smart enough to say, oh, we're getting flanked. We need to counter that. We need to maneuver. So we want to have that happen in our businesses as well, in our companies. And we can only do that if we invest in our leaders, if we train our leaders, if we give our leaders some leeway. And your leaders aren't going to be perfect, and they're going to make some little mistakes. And when they make little mistakes, instead of jumping on them so they never make a decision again, right? If you make a decision, Aaron, and it turns out to be, hey, not the best decision, and I rip you apart and tear you apart in front of the whole team and call you an idiot and the whole 9 yards, well, next time you need to make a decision, you're going to say, hey, Jocko, I need to talk to you. 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 And by the way, if I've done that with you, I've done that with 14 other people, and now I got 14 people that don't make any decisions. And they're all saying, Jocko, I need to ask you something. Jocko, how do you want me to do this? Jocko, which way should we go here? And now the whole team is congested behind my brain because no one's making decisions without me. So what we have to do is when someone makes a mistake, you give them some adjustments, you learn from it, and you tell them, good job, go out, continue on. Now, do you got to put some guardrails in place so that, Aaron, who's never done this type of project before, I just throw it at him and walk away and expect him to do it? No, I have experience. I'm going to give him some guidance. I'm going to give you some guidance so that you can set up a decent plan, but I'll give you some leeway in there, and I'll let you brush up against the guardrails of failure. I'm not going to let you do anything that's unsafe. I'm not going to let you do something that's going to cost us 4 weeks on the critical path. I'm not going to do anything that's going to hurt our employees or form a bad relationship with our client. But I'm going to give you some leeway. And as I start to see you brushing up the guardrail, I might say, hey, Aaron, let's have a little talk. Can you explain why you want to do it like this? And we're going to learn, and you're going to learn a better way to get it done. So decentralized command, counterintuitive, yes, extremely powerful, because here's the deal. With decentralized command, when my subordinate leadership is actually making things happen, now I no longer have to sit there and look over their shoulders all the time. And when I'm not looking over their shoulders all the time, guess what I'm doing? Instead of looking down and into my own team, I'm looking up and out, and I'm looking to see where we can go next. I'm looking to see how we coordinate with other projects. I'm looking at safety from a high level to make sure that I'm assessing where some areas are that maybe we haven't seen before, and maybe we need to apply a little bit more thought around our safety procedures. When I'm looking down and in, I don't do any of that. And I have to look down and in when I don't have decentralized command. So let your subordinate leaders lead. Instead of looking down and in, spend most of your time looking up and out. Does that mean you never look down and in? Of course not. You got to go and make sure that the team is actually executing the way they're supposed to be executing. But if you spend some time looking down and in, you can spend a majority of your time looking up and out and making sure that you're moving in the right direction and make sure that you're actually leading at a high level.
Like in the construction industry, it's so competitive. You're bidding against each other all the time. So you're always being compared to your competitor. Every single job you're trying to win, you're being compared, and there's these silos, and maybe I've been screwed a bunch, and I have trust issues as a leader, as vice president of a company, and I'm worried, hey, if I really go train these guys up, trust these guys, they're just going to go screw me. They're just going to go over to my competitor and go work for them, or maybe they're going to go start their own company and compete against me.
What we're saying is we're worried that if we take care of our people, they're going to screw us. That's what we're worried about.
Potential. I see it all the time.
Yep.
It's more positive than that, but they're worried about that, and so they don't want to implement decentralized command because they're worried these guys are just going to go off and start going to war against me one day.
So there's a saying in the SEAL teams. It's if you take care of your people, if you take care of your gear will take care of you. And it's actually a safety protocol. That's what it's meant as. Meaning, if I do the right maintenance on my dive rig, then my dive rig will take care of me. If I do a good job packing my parachute, if I take care of my parachute, and I pack it correctly, and I maintain it correctly, it will take care of me. If I take care of my weapon, if I clean it and maintain it properly, and I have it sighted in, when I need my weapon, it will take care of me. So this saying, if you take care of your gear will take care of you. This applies to people too. And if you take care of your people are going to take care of you. If you invest in people and you train them and you get them better and you give them opportunities to succeed and you give them opportunities to grow, they're going to take care of you as well. Now, can there be an odd case where you get someone that wants to just look out for themselves? Absolutely. You'll absolutely see those people. You will be able to, as you formulate a team and you start to grow that team, these people that put themselves first stand out so badly. It's so obvious when someone's in that mindset. It's so obvious that they won't be at your company for very long. Because when you have a team that's actually working together, supporting each other, covering and moving for each other, when you have that inside of a company, the people that don't want to be that way, they're not going to be there for very long. So, look, is there a chance that you have someone that breaks off and goes and starts another business? Yeah, there is. There absolutely is. And you know what you do when that happens? You shake their hand and say, hey, good luck. Let me know if I can help you out. Let me know if I can help you out. I'm telling you, when you treat people with respect and you treat people good, they will take care of you. Again, is there going to be an odd person that is going to look to stick a knife in your back? Yes, there is. Unfortunately, yes, there is. They will be so obvious. And by the way, you're in an industry, right? We go from company to company. We start to build reputations. You get a person that builds a reputation like that, and where are they going to end up? So short term, sure, they might win a job. Short term, they might get a promotion. Where are they at in 5 years? Where are they at in 10 years? You're not going to get where, you're not going to end up working around those kind of people. So for me, would I rather constantly be suspicious of everyone and go through life where I'm worried that I'm going to get stabbed in the back? Or would I rather give people trust, empower them, let them grow, educate them, let them learn, take care of them, and roll the dice that someone's going to take care of me? I mean, I'll take that second course of action all day long. And it's the same in any business. It really is. It's the same in any business. In any business, you can train up your subordinates where they leave. That can happen. I mean, look, we've had people, I own a jiu-jitsu gym. I own a mixed martial arts gym. We've had people that left here and started their own school. Left my gym where I paid them money and trained them, and then they left and went to another, either opened their own place or they, whatever, went and taught somewhere else. Okay. That's okay. You know what I said to them when they would leave? I'd say, hey man, good luck. Good luck. That's okay. And have a good relationship. And then guess what happens when they open a school that's 30 miles away and one of their students moves to closer to my school? Guess what they say? Oh yeah, go back and, hey, train at Jocko's, got a great academy. So I'm not worried about this. I'm really not worried about this. I understand it. I understand it. I understand where the paranoia comes from. I do. I understand where the paranoia comes from. But if you take care of your people are going to take care of you.
There's one concept that I've heard from you recently that really stuck out to me, and it's lead with the minimum force required. Like, and that because I think people, you know, if they're not, you know, really heavily involved, they don't feel like they, you know, why are you paying me this, you know, if I'm not heavily involved. But, you know, you've talked about best leadership is when you don't have to say anything. Like,
yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, the concept is leading with minimum force required, and quite frankly, the minimum force required for a leader is nothing. Nothing, zero. I didn't do anything. I went out on an operation, and the only thing I did was say execute, 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 and then my assault team leader departed the vehicles, the vehicle commanders got the vehicles lined up, the assault team hit the building, the external security set security, that leader took control of that. They went in there, they captured the bad guy, they got back in the vehicles, they got back to base, and I didn't say anything the whole time except for execute, execute, execute. What kind of leader am I? What kind of mission is that? It's awesome. It's awesome. It means that everyone on the team understood what the mission was. They understood what their job was. They understood what they needed to do to accomplish the job. They went and executed it, and I didn't need to say anything. That's an ideal situation. Now, are there times where something goes wrong and I got to step in? Yes, there are. But ideally, as a leader, everybody on the team understands what the mission is and they go make it happen. That's what I want. I don't have to say anything. All I have to do is tell them what the mission is and they go make it happen. That's what I want. Now, sometimes the way they're going to make it happen, maybe it's not quite going to work out as well from my perspective. And then what I do, go ask a question. I say, hey, Aaron, are you sure you want to pour concrete on this day? And he says, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure that, just so you know, your rebar isn't showing up until here. So if you schedule concrete for here, that gives you only this window to get all that rebar put in. And he says, ooh, that is a tight timeline. Yeah, I don't know, you can do what you want, but yeah, you know what, I'm gonna move it back to the next morning. Okay, so I just asked some questions, gave minimum force, and he realized it and made adjustments. So yes, I wanna lead with minimum force required. And what you'll find is, the less you talk, the more people listen. So when you actually, if you're constantly telling it, hey, do this, you do that, hey, you go over there, hey, pour concrete this day, I want rebar, and you're barking all these orders all the time, eventually people aren't really listening to you anymore. They don't even know what's important. But when you talk less, people listen more. So guess what? Now your minimum force that you use has a higher impact, which is a very positive thing.
The guys that are a little bit, that don't talk as much are the ones that have the respect.
For sure.
And what, yeah, I think that's awesome. The other one is in decentralized command, letting the team come up with their own plan. And I know this plays out in construction. We've had it even in our company. Like Aaron and I have an idea of, here's how we want to do this. And it struggles until we just stop and say, here's the mission. How would you guys go do that? And we're learning that. And construction companies, I think, struggle with this. Talk about the important, I think you mentioned it where, hey, your plan today, you came up with a new concept, like the team's plan tomorrow might be better than your plan today type of approach.
It's like, if we could contextualize it, like you're a foreman, you have a few operators and laborers, you need to go lay some pipe. Mm-hmm. Typically it's me, hey guys, here's the plan, here's how we're gonna do it today. Mm-hmm. That's how I see it 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah. Yeah. The concept is the more I can let my team have ownership of the plan, the better the plan is going to be and the better it's going to get executed. So, yeah, if we got to lay some pipe today, Aaron, and I'm the foreman and I say, all right, here's what we're going to do, here's how you're going to do it. Look, here's the thing, it seems more efficient because all I did was say, oh, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it. But, number one, you don't get any training. Because eventually I want you to be able to do this without me. So if I don't have you come up with a plan, you don't get any training. You're not being trained to take my job, which is what I want. Because why do I want that? Do I want you to take my job because I don't want to have a job anymore? No, I want you to take my job so I can do the next level up. And so that we're more efficient and effective. So I absolutely want my subordinates to come up with a plan. So, hey, Aaron, here's what we got to get done today. How do you think we should do it? This isn't like some 2-hour debate. This is like, hey, Aaron, here's what we got to get done. How do you think we should do it? And you say, oh, it seems like we should come on over here, bring the tractors in here, we should bring the backhoe over here, and we should be able to do it like this. And I go, hey, that sounds pretty good. One thing, if we don't get around this part of the road early, before we dig, it's going to get tight. Oh yeah, maybe we should do that a little bit later. Okay, cool. There, guess what? It's your plan now. It's your plan. And now you go and execute the plan. You learned a little bit about forethought, about the entry and exit to the site that we're actually going to be working. So you learned that. You learned to take a step back. You learned to see a little bit of the big picture. And now you go and execute the plan, and it's your plan. And your team is sitting there executing a plan that you guys came up with. It's way better. And again, I don't want to make it sound like it's this crazy thing where I say, hey, Aaron, here's what I want you to get done, and then I walk away and I don't look at your plan. I don't give you any feedback on your plan. No, I'm not talking about that. But look, we're laying pipe, right? How many options are there? There might be 2 or 3. This isn't rocket science, right? And if you come to me, and here's the other thing that I explain to people, I might have like a 90% solution in my mind of how to get this done. And I say, Aaron, how do you want to do it? And you give me an 80% solution back. I'm still going to go with your solution. We're still going to use your plan. And because now, again, you learned, you have ownership. And by the way, Aaron, if you're a good leader, when I say, hey, Aaron, how do you want to do this? You're going to get with your team and say, hey, fellas, how do you want to get this done? And now the team comes up with a plan together. And that's totally optimum. Then you go execute the plan. And because it's your plan, you're gonna make up for that little 10% delta that we had. Now what if you come to me with a 70% solution? Well, now I might say, all right, hey, Aaron, let me ask you one question. Don't you think that corner over there is gonna get pretty tight? If we're digging and we're putting dirt there, how are we gonna get the truck in and out? And you go, ooh, yeah. You know what, we'll come in over here. You make a little adjustment. Now your 70% plan's an 80% plan. And we're good, I'm gonna let you go with it. Maybe you come in with a 20% plan. That's horrible. And it's just backwards and dumb. So now what do I do? Well, I'm still just going to say, hey, Aaron, let me ask you this. Well, where are we going to put the pipe where you want to put the pipe? We have to drive in and out of there all day long moving dirt. So that doesn't Do you think that's going to work? And you go, hold on, let me recheck this. Let me get with the boys and figure this out. So you come back and you get it to a 68% plan. I give you one more little nudge. It makes you a 78% plan, and I say go execute. And you have buy-in, and it's quick and it's easy. Again, this isn't like some paradigm thought shift, right? It's like, hey, ask people how they think you should do it. Let them come up with a plan. That's how they become educated. That's how they take ownership of the plan. So, as often as I can, I'm going to use my subordinate's plan. And by the way, also my boss's plan. Aaron, if I'm working for you and you say, hey, Jock, I want to get it done like this, I don't say, well, boss would be a little bit better to do. I could save 4% if I do this. I say, hey, boss, sounds good, got it. And I might make a little adjustment to make up for that 4%, like in the field. I mean, hey, by the way, boss, I would put it down over there, just to get it out of the way. And yeah, no problem. But I'm going to execute it. Why? Because then I'm building trust. I'm building trust with you. And I'm getting done what you need me to get done. And that's what I'm trying to make happen. So yes, people buy into, hey, I'm the one that's in charge, so I'm going to bark orders. Why? By the way, we think we look cooler. We think we look more competent. Think we look more confident when I say, all right, Aaron, here's what you need to do. Here's how I want you to do it. Here's where I want the trucks. Here's where I want the pipe. Here's where I want the materials. Here's where I want you to put hoses. This is what I want you to get done. I feel like I'm more confident. But what takes more confidence? For me to say, blah, 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 here's exactly what I want you to do. Or, hey, Aaron, here's the mission. Why don't you figure out a good plan on how to do it? Let me know how you want to get it done. All day long.